In today's video, I'm going to give you the 7 worst tips, we'll call them, that have been going around the real estate community here in Florida. And I would say that these would also apply not in Florida, they would pretty much apply anywhere in the US. Now, before we jump into this video, if this is the first time we're meeting, let me introduce myself. My name is Barrett Pastor, and I've been a real estate broker for over 26 years. So hopefully I'm coming to you from a place of knowledge and experience, and I can help you navigate all things Florida real estate. Here on my channel, we don't talk about the brochure living. Anybody will give you the brochure living. I like to balance things out and make sure that you know the good with the less good, because that's what we all need to know when we make a big purchase like a home or a condo. All right, so let's jump into my top 7 tips that are not very good tips. First one, you don't need a home inspection. Don't bother with it. Look at this house. It's beautiful. You can look around. You can tell there's nothing wrong with this house, or this is brand new construction. Don't waste $800 on a building inspection. You don't need it. It's brand new construction. No, 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 no. I don't care if it's brand new construction. I can tell you so many different events that have occurred in brand new construction. And just to name a few, not putting insulation up in the attic. I have seen that. Dishwasher, more than once, multiple times on this one. Dishwasher completely not connected, like you could pull it out if you wanted to. I have seen water lines that are connected incorrectly. I have seen toilets that rock. I cannot tell. I've seen faucets that are completely missing up in the shower head missing, I guess is a better way to put it. I can't tell you how many times there have been problems or things that were done wrong. A lot of them. So just because it's new construction, don't assume that it was done correctly and you don't need a building inspection. And also, don't make the assumption that there was a final CO done, a final closeout of the new construction by the county where the home was built. Don't make the assumption that they caught everything, because many times they don't. So never, ever, ever, ever waive your building inspection, except the previous buyer's home inspection. So what do I mean by that? If a deal fell through and then the listing agent says, oh, well, we have the prior inspection, we'll give that to you if you want to go ahead and waive your inspection. You can accept that inspection or whatever they've done. If they've done an inspection, a termite inspection, anything they've done, totally fine to go ahead and accept it, but don't accept it in lieu of your inspection. Do your own, because you don't know who they hired, and you don't even know, even if it's an inspector that your agent says, oh, well, that I know who that is. They're a great inspector. We probably would have used that inspector. It doesn't matter. Maybe they were having a bad day that day. Maybe, who knows? I mean, it could be anything, but I've seen it many times where things get missed, and it doesn't even matter if that inspection they're trying to offer you was a week ago. Do not waive your inspection. You don't need to bother with a radon inspection, because nowhere in Florida, there is no radon in Florida. That is not true. I'll give you an example. Miramar, which is a beautiful community in Southwest Florida, it's really common to see high levels of radon in that community. And radon tends to move underground in, I don't want to say blocks, but that's the way I'm going to word it. It moves like in sections. So if unit 100A has radon, then probably 101, 102, 103, it tends to move like that. So if you don't know what radon is, it's a gas that's underneath the ground. It's colorless, it's odorless, which makes it even a little bit more scary in my opinion. It's naturally occurring and you really don't know it's there unless you test for it. It is also toxic. So there's been a lot of studies. In some people, it has been known to cause lung cancer. So it's just kind of one of those things that you don't want to breathe. Not every single home is going to have radon, but it is in a lot of states, and you definitely want to test for it. Now, if you're on the 10th floor of a condo building up in the air, is there going to be radon there? I mean, I don't know how, but if you're on ground level, I would always, always, always test for radon. And if there is radon in your unit or in the home, in the single family home, there is a radon mitigation system that you can have installed. So it pulls the radon away from the home before it has a chance to enter the home. And by the way, on that note, don't let an agent tell you, well, the solution to getting rid of radon is opening your windows. Or another one I've heard a lot is, well, do you plan to have your slider open all the time? You know, this is Florida, it's outdoor living. Don't, just do what's best for you. Yes, if you open it up and air it out, yes, that radon gas theoretically is going to go straight out. But you know what? It's just best to know if it's there, because what if you go months on end where you are kind of closed up? You see it a lot up north in basements, by the way. I don't need an agent. I don't need an agent. I have sold 3 houses by myself, and every one of my houses have sold in the first 3 seconds for $25,000 over asking. You know what? I get it. And if your house is sold in Michigan or wherever it is you're from, you don't know Florida. You don't know Florida. So whether or not you have bought and sold in another state, I am going to strongly suggest to you that you get a competent, good agent in Florida. Because, as I always say, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you should be looking for. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know if they have knowledge of something that you need to be aware of. Things are very different in Florida. The fees are different in Florida. I've seen people completely shocked at the closing table, especially for sale by owners who didn't know there was swings to the multi-thousands because they didn't have an agent. They thought they knew everything, and boom, here we are at the closing table, and they're getting $8,000 less than what they thought they were. So make sure that you have a good, competent agent. I'm not saying go on the website that rhymes with pillow and go pick a random. I am saying find somebody, interview somebody, make sure they know what they're talking about. Location doesn't matter as long as you love the house. Wrong. Incorrect. It does matter. It really matters. In fact, in Florida, it matters probably most. Why? Yes, you want a home that you love, but on top of that, you have to remember that so much of Florida is lifestyle living. So if you want to be near the beach, or you want to be in a golfing community, or you want to be in a pickleball community, the community itself is really important. And we talk about this on my channel all the time. That is why I always say I don't give you the brochure living version, because you want to make sure there are good doctors nearby. There are good hospitals nearby. There's grocery stores you like. I've had people say to me, I want to be within 15 minutes of Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. There are ways that people like to live that really matter. The community matters. And when I say community, I'm not just talking about the subdivision, the neighborhood that you're living in. That is very, very important. But also the overall umbrella of where you are locationally in the state. It really does make a difference, right down to whether or not you're going to have super high insurance because of hurricanes or flooding or any number of things that can occur in Florida. Even things like being in uplands, if you're on acreage, uplands versus wetlands, there's a lot of things that make a difference. Location is super important. And of course, I'm just going to say this, but you know this, I don't care the price. I don't care if it's dirt cheap. If it backs to a main road that's busy and loud, nobody is going to want that property when you go to sell it. Don't worry about the HOA rules. Nobody pays attention to those HOA rules. I don't care if it says that your dog has to be 10 pounds. I know I have a German Shepherd and nobody's ever called on me. Don't listen to that. Do not listen to that. If it's in the HOA, it can be enforced. So I've given this example before. I know of a community, a condo community in Naples, in downtown Naples. It is a high rise. It's an older high rise. And in their HOA rules and regs, it actually says that women are not allowed to wear heavy perfume in the common areas. It actually says that. So if somebody wanted to say that they don't like your Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium perfume that you spritzed all up this morning getting fancy, they could absolutely report you and you could have a problem with it. So if it's in writing and you agreed to it, do not make the assumption because somebody is telling you that nobody enforces it, that all of a sudden it's not going to be enforced. And the last one that is near and dear to my heart, I've brought this one up for over a year consistently on this channel. You all will know what it is. Date the rate, marry the house. In my opinion, it is the worst advice. And if you took that advice right now, you're looking for a divorce because the rates did not come down. So theoretically, if you don't really understand what that means, date the rate, marry the house, it means go out, find the house you want, pick the house, don't worry about the rate. I know the interest rate is 7.5%. Don't worry. I realize it is at the top of your budget. You could barely afford it. But go ahead and do it because we know for sure that rates are going to come down. So as soon as the rates come down, we'll get you refinanced. Well, guess what? The rates haven't come down. They're not coming down. And if you put yourself in that position, you could wind up where you dated the rate and you married the foreclosure. So those are my 7 absolutely worst tips you could possibly follow in real estate. If there are any others that I did not think of, please let me know. We would all love to hear about them down in comments.